We have somebody asking about coming up with content ideas for fashion brands. So first off, if you haven't seen it already, we have a really in-depth workshop on doing this, and actually people who came to the workshop live, generally they left with about 60 ideas for content for their fashion brand. So we did that in December, I think, so they're still working through that list. You know, it was enough to keep them going for the whole year, basically. So definitely watch that workshop in the membership welcome area if you've not watched it already. Just to share some general tips with you though on creating content. It's really, really important that we're not just creating content for content's sake. And when I say content, if you're unclear, that could be any kind of social media post. It might be an email. It might be anything on your site, like a blog post, something like that. And we want it to have purpose for our business. You know, we're not just doing this stuff for the good of our health, okay? So make sure that before you even write a thing or design anything, you think, okay, what is the purpose of this? And usually it's going to fall into one of three categories. So either you're trying to attract new people to your brand, you're trying to build a relationship with people who already know who you are, or you're trying to make the sale. I know always, fundamentally, we want to make the sale, but we kind of need to go through those three steps to maximize our chances of making a sale in the first place. So when you're when you're creating content, think of it from one of those three angles, like which one do I want to do, and then build the content from there. So if it's something to attract customers, have a think about what they're interested in, what they're entertained by, what they're struggling with, and produce some content that'll inspire them or help them or just keep them entertained. If you want to build that connection, you know, emotion is really, really important in marketing. I know we've touched on that already today when we talked about the emails, but it's really true. It's really, really important. So I would make sure that you try and convey some emotion by building a trust there, you know, so sharing something that's happened to you, something that your target audience should relate to, or just building, you know, asking people for their opinion. It doesn't have to be anything deep and meaningful. It can be, but even just something like, hey, I'm going to New York. Have you got any tips for, you know, what to do in New York? Just something to kind of, that gets people talking. Or it could be, you know, I'm taking a break. This works really well on stories, actually, this kind of casual conversational sort of content. You know, on Instagram stories, like, hey, I'm just taking a break. This is my favorite smoothie. What is yours? Just anything to kind of start a conversation. From a product perspective, sharing behind the scenes stuff is really, really powerful because it's going to show people, you know, how much effort you put into your products. It's going to show them that they're really worth the price that you're charging for them because of how much goes into the product, how much you thought about it, and just showing kind of the day-to-day of your business can really fall into that category as well. And then of course the sales content, where we're talking about, you know, showcasing our products, not necessarily saying buy me now and having an offer or a promotion or something like that, though we could, but we can also say like, this is this style, whatever style you have, and explaining why it's amazing, like why you love it, why customers have loved it, what have they said in their reviews, and that sort of thing. So there's a ton of different ideas that you can pull from. And actually, once you get into the zone with this, content ideas are so easy. And the more you work in your business, the easier they're going to become. And you'll then go into the same position that I'm in, where I have millions of ideas and I don't have the time to execute them all. Or actually, I just have to pick the best because I'm not going to send out hundreds of emails, right? I'm just going to send out my one a week, for example. So, and if you're watching this thinking, well, that sounds like way off, trust me, it's actually really easy to get to. So make sure that you watch that workshop because, as I say, people were really, really surprised at how many content ideas they could come up with just in that hour workshop, and they just left with so many. So definitely check that out.